Hey everybody, welcome back to Build a Website from Scratch with HTML and CSS. This video is called Aside. In this lecture, we are going to learn a little bit about the HTML5 tag aside and when we would use it. In your code editor, create a new file called aside.html in your lesson 4 folder. Add the doc type and the basic page structure with the title of aside. In your body tag, add the aside tag. It looks like this. Now, the official documentation of the aside tag is it can be used to display content that has some sort of relation to the content surrounding it. So, for example, if you had a blog post and you had some text and then you had a pull quote, say you were quoting somebody within your blog post, that can be wrapped in an aside tag. It would make semantic sense. However, using an aside tag for that purpose isn't the only way you can use aside tags. In fact, I use aside tags primarily for sidebars on the side of a website or a blog that displays something about, say, the author of that article, or more navigation, or displaying categories of the blog, or so on and so forth. So let's just do a little something here with the aside tag. Let's give it the ID of main sidebar. So it has the unique identification of main sidebar. Let's give it a level 4 heading and say about the author, and then a paragraph tag that says this is a little biography about the author who wrote this article. Now, it doesn't make that much sense just to have an aside tag in a web page that's referencing an article and there's no article there. So let's just put a little something in here. In fact, just to make it easier, we just did the nav section and article lecture. And why don't we just copy the article and go back to our aside and paste it just above the aside here. So now we have an article, the blog post with the heading, the body, and the footer. And then we have an aside, which will represent the sidebar of the article that has something about the author. And this is what it would look like in the browser. So you have your blog post heading, the body, and then the footer, and then you have a sidebar or an aside that has some related content or something about the author. Right now it doesn't look like a sidebar because it's just sitting beneath the blog post, but that's when you use CSS. And soon we will start using CSS and we can make the sidebar actually look like a real sidebar. So that's it for this lecture. I'll see you in the next one.